now here's the fun part, decorating. When you make your icing, you might want to vary the consistency depending on what you're trying to put on your house and just experiment it with a little bit. You can pretty much use anything edible to decorate your house, cut it up into different shapes to be creative with it. You can also use icing in many different ways as a decoration just in and of itself. You can use gumballs to make flowers. You can use hard candy to make bushes. I like to use some spare pieces of gingerbread to practice on. That way I can practice with the various consistencies of icing, as well as trying out new candies or how a different candy is going to look with a different type of piping. Icicles are fun to do. With that, you experiment a lot with the consistency of your icing. Normally, after I cover the base with the tin foil, I will cover the whole of it with a thin coating of icing just so that none of the tin foil shows through, and then I decorate on top of that. So if I want snow, I'll add more icing. If I want a lake, I'll add a thin layer of blue icing. Then I can add bushes, I can add sidewalks, all sorts of things, and I don't need to worry about the tin foil showing through. To make window shutters, I love using the Snaps pretzels, the little square ones. And you can just use any type of little cake decoration with a tiny bit of frosting and decorate your pretzel shutters, and then pop your pretzel shutters right onto your gingerbread house. For shingles, you can use stick gum. If you have the scrapbooking scissors, you can make scalloped edges. Otherwise, if you don't, you can just cut square edges and make regular square edge shingles. To make this flower, I just use different color gumdrops and cut out shapes, and I like to use the sugary side, so I make sure that whenever I cut it out, the sugary side will show. And then just play with, once you have your shapes cut out, just play with them on the table and move them around until you get a design that you like. I'll do a combination. Some candy pieces, I'll put the glue onto the candy piece and then put it on the house. Other pieces, I'll put the glue or the icing directly onto the house and then I'll put the candy piece onto it. It just depends how big the candy is or how much glue I want showing around the edges of the candy when I'm done. And again, use your scrap gingerbread to practice. You can also use pretzels to make fences. I made these fences a day ahead of time, and now they're glued hard and solid, and I can set them up in front of the house today.